$10,000. That's less than the typical down payment on a home in America right now, where the median existing home price just hit a record high $429,300 in May 2026, according to the National Association of Realtors. $10,000 is about 2% of that number, and yet, somewhere on a piece of paid-off land, a full, weather-tight, off-grid structure is standing for that price. Here's the part nobody tells you. The $10,000 Barndominium videos flying around right now are technically true and almost always missing half the story. Today, I'm not going to sell you a fantasy. I'm going to show you exactly what $10,000 really buys in 2026, line by line, and exactly what it doesn't. Because by the end of this video, you'll know whether this is a smart move for you or a trap dressed up in barnwood. Here's what we're covering. First, the real math, what a genuine $10,000 build includes using actual 2026 material pricing, not YouTube thumbnail pricing. Second, the design decisions that make a couple hundred square feet feel like a home instead of a shed. Third, the systems, power, water, waste, that let this thing function without a utility bill. And finally, the honest trade-offs, the costs this number quietly leaves out, and who this build actually makes sense for. Stick around for that last part because it's the difference between building something you love and building something the county shuts down in 6 months. Let's start with the number everyone's obsessed with. The real cost breakdown. A full finished Barndominium in 2026 averages around $230,000 nationally, ranging from about $112,800 for a small, simple build up to roughly $500,000 for a large custom home, with some luxury conversions cited as high as $540,000. So how does anyone land at $10,000? The answer is scope. A $10,000 build isn't a house, it's a shell, and a small one. Small prefabricated timber and steel frame cabin kits, the kind marketed as Barndo-style bunkies or tiny shells, span a wide range, roughly $4,850 to $54,990, depending on size and finish. But the key detail is this. Many of these kits fall well under $10,000 for structures typically in the 100 to 250 square foot range. That price covers the frame, exterior siding, roofing, and windows and doors, assembled by 2 people, often in a matter of hours to days, not months. Compare that to a standard Barndominium kit. Materials alone run $20 to $35 per square foot, and once you add on-site assembly labor, a complete kit runs $30 to $50 per square foot. At the low end of the materials-only rate, even a modest 1,200 square foot Barndominium kit starts around $24,000, and that's just the shell, with no foundation, no interior finish, nothing else included. So the tiny build isn't cheating the math. It's just working with a much smaller footprint and stripping out almost every cost that isn't the structure itself. Here's the number that matters most though, and it's the one that decides everything. That $10,000 assumes you already own the land and you're doing all the labor yourself. Remove either of those 2 conditions and the number goes up. Foundation and site. A code-compliant concrete slab foundation costs $6 to $14 per square foot. For a 250 square foot structure, that's $1,500 to $3,500, a real chunk of a $10,000 budget. Most genuine $10,000 builds skip the poured slab entirely. Instead, they sit on pressure-treated skids, concrete deck blocks, or a compacted gravel pad, solutions that typically cost a few $100s, not a few thousand, but that also don't meet residential building code in most counties. This is the honest trade-off. A tiny barndo on skids is fast, cheap, and often legally classified as a temporary or accessory structure rather than a dwelling, which is exactly why it can dodge the deep costs of a full residential build. But that classification is a double-edged sword, and we'll come back to why in a few minutes. Does it feel like home? Now here's the part that actually matters for the feels like home half of this title, because square footage was never the thing standing between a shed and a home. Design decisions were. The first is glass. A single strategically placed window wall, even a modest one, changes the psychology of a small room more than almost anything else you can spend money on. Natural light expands a space the eye perceives, and it's one of the cheapest upgrades relative to the impact it has. The second is the vertical dimension. Many of these tiny kits, including popular models like the all-wood Bella, which packs 237 square feet downstairs and another 86 square feet into a sleeping loft, use a tall, single-slope roofline, high on one wall, low on the other, to open up enough vertical space for a sleeping loft at the tall end without adding foundation cost, since roof structure is already part of the base kit price. Third, material honesty. Exposed wood framing, straightforward board and batten or steel siding, a simple metal roof, these aren't compromises forced by budget. They're the actual aesthetic that people pay premium prices to imitate in $500,000 custom homes. At this scale, the honest materials and the beautiful materials are the same thing. None of this required more money. It required better decisions with the money already spent on the shell. What make it livable? A shell isn't a home until it has power, water, and a way to deal with waste. This is where the second real chunk of the $10,000 goes. For power, a small off-grid solar setup, a couple hundred watts of panel, a basic charge controller, a small battery bank, and an inverter runs roughly $700 to $2,500 depending on capacity, per current 2026 solar retailer pricing. That's enough for LED lighting, phone charging, a small fridge, and basic electronics, not central air conditioning or a well pump. For waste, this is where people either save the most money or make the biggest mistake. A basic composting toilet starts around $130 to $250 for an entry-level unit, while a well-reviewed low-odor model like the Separate Tiny 1271 or Nature's Head runs closer to $1,000. Compare that to a conventional septic system, which the same off-grid cost data puts at $10,000 to $30,000 installed, on its own more than this entire build's budget. Water, for most builds this small, means hauling it in, jugs, a gravity-fed tank, or a rain catchment barrel, rather than drilling a well. Drilling and installing a well can run $10,000 to $30,000 or more, according to 2026 Barndominium site cost data, depending on depth and local geology. Right in line with what a septic system or a power line extension from the road would also cost. Added up, and a genuinely lean version looks something like this. A shell kit in the $4,000 to $9,000 range, a $150 to $1,000 composting toilet, and a $700 to $1,500 solar setup. That's how you land in the $10,000 range, and it's why the number is real, but narrow. What $10,000 doesn't include: the honest part. Here's what almost never makes it into the thumbnail. The land. If you don't already own a buildable lot, this entire conversation is theoretical. Raw land, clearing, and access can add tens of thousands before the first panel goes up. Permits and code compliance. Building permits typically run $500 to $2,000, and that's before engineering review in counties that require it. Many jurisdictions exempt small accessory structures below a certain square footage from full permitting, but that threshold varies significantly by county and state, and building without checking first is a real legal and insurance risk, not a loophole to rely on. Insurance and financing. A structure without a permanent foundation, conventional utilities, or a certificate of occupancy generally cannot be mortgaged as a primary residence, and standard homeowners insurance often won't cover it as a dwelling. Lenders like USDA Section 502 and construction to permanent loan programs exist for Barndominiums, according to 2026 lending data. but they're built around code-compliant, appraisable structures, not accessory shells. Your own labor. Every dollar figure in this video assumes the owner is doing the framing, the wiring, the finishing. According to 2026 cost data from Steel Structures America, owner-builders who manage an entire Barndominium project themselves can bring total costs down to $80 to $120 per square foot, versus far more for a full turnkey contractor build. That gap between paid labor and free labor is exactly what's being donated here. None of this makes the $10,000 figure dishonest, it makes it narrow. A real number for a real but specific kind of project, a legally classified accessory structure on land you already own, built entirely with your own hands.
The honest verdict. So is a $10,000 tiny barndominium a smart move or a trap? Both, depending on what you're actually trying to build. As a guest cabin, a home office, a hunting retreat, or a starter shelter on land you already own, it's one of the most efficient uses of $10,000 in the entire housing market right now. Full stop. As a replacement for a conventional, mortgageable, insurable primary residence, it isn't that, and no honest builder would tell you it is. The videos that blur that line aren't lying about the number, they're just letting you assume it means more than it does. If you're weighing a tiny build like this against a full Barndominium build, I've got the complete cost breakdown for a full-size steel barndo in the channel. It'll show you exactly where the number jumps from $10,000 to $200,000 and why. Tell me in the comments, would you build one of these as a guest cabin on your own land, or is a foundation and a mortgage worth it to you? I read every one of them. I'll see you in the next one.